Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. We will respond after studying judgment. Army on ₦1 billion compensation to KANU. We will respond after studying judgment. Army on ₦1 billion compensation to KANU. To my dear listeners, from wherever you're listening from, stay tuned as I read today's news. Following the order of the court that the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB Mazi Nnamdi KANU, be compensated with ₦1 billion for total violation of his fundamental human rights. Counsel to the Army, Amos Story, on Wednesday said the military would respond after studying the judgment. Recall that Abia State High Court, sitting in Umuahia, had ordered the Nigerian Army to pay ₦1 billion compensation to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi KANU, for invading his house in September 2017 during Operation Python Dance 2. The court also ordered the army and the federal government to apologize to KANU in 3 national dailies for the infringement of his fundamental human rights following the September 10, 2017 military invasion of his house. Justice Benson Anya, who gave the orders while delivering judgment on the suit filed by KANU against the federal government, the army, and 6 others for allegedly violating his fundamental human rights, declared the raid as unlawful. KANU, had through his special counsel, Aloy Ejimako, filed a suit against the federal government. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, the Chief of Army Staff, Cohas, and the Inspector General of Police, IG, for violating his fundamental rights. Other respondents are the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, the Abia State Director of DSS, the State Commissioner of Police, and the Army Brigade Commander, Ohafia. He sought, among other reliefs, a declaration that the military invasion of his building and premises at Isiama Afara Uku Ibeku, Abia State on 10th September 2017 by the respondent or their agent is illegal, unlawful, unconstitutional, and amount to infringement of the applicant's fundamental right to life, dignity of his persons, his personal liberty, and fair hearing as guaranteed under the pertinent provisions. Of Chapter 4 of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, hereafter CFRN, and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights Ratification and Enforcement Act, hereafter the Charter. Justice Anya, who read the judgment from 10:05 a.m. to 11:09 a.m., declared that the issue of military invasion of KANU's house on September 10, 2017 was so notorious that the court cannot turn a blind eye to it. He said that the federal government, the army and other security agencies made flimsy and ineffectual denials of their involvement in the said invasion instead of proving otherwise. The judge put a posal to the respondent, assuming you were not responsible for the invasion. What steps did you take as government and agent of state responsible for the protection of all citizens, including the applicants, to investigate the invasion and bring the perpetrators to book? Justice Anya held that Nigeria is an integral part of the Community of Democratic Nations who must respect human rights, adding that violence, adoption, and torture do not resolve but fertilize conflict. The court further advised the federal government to embrace dialogue and political solution in handling the issue of NNAMDI KANU in the interest of peace. The court, however, declined KANU's prayer to be returned to Britain, his country of abode, before his rendition from Kenya. It also said that it lacked the competence to abdicate on the issue of KANU's abduction in Kenya, an extraordinary rendition, saying that only Federal High Court has jurisdiction over extradition matters. According to the judge, Kenya is outside the territorial jurisdiction of the court, and the court cannot entertain the issue of extradition. The court also struck out the preliminary objections by the respondent that a state high court lacked jurisdiction to entertain suit against agencies of federal government, ruling that the objections were misconstrued and frivolous. Responding, counsel to the army, Amos Story, said he was waiting for the copy of the judgment, which he would transmit to his client for study and determination of the next line of action. So my dear listeners, finally we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section and let us know what your view is all about.